Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited to talk about how efficiently you can set up a lab for EEG, EMG, neurophysiology, neuromodulation, and related research field. So, as you know, when you start a new research project or move into a new institution, it often comes with challenges. While the PI may have a clear research vision, the practical side, figure out the equipment you need, space limitation, and the budget constraint can be overwhelming. So traditionally, this means spending countless hours searching online, requesting quotes, and sifting through endless information. But at g.tec, we developed a simple solution to make the whole process easier, the g.tec Configurator. It's a powerful tool designed to make lab planning faster and easier. In this presentation, I will quickly walk you through how it works for 4 common lab types, and we will look at the layout basics. I will give you a live demo showing you how to select and visualize your equipment. And finally, I will show you how to generate a detailed equipment list with pricing, all in a few clicks. So let's get started. The first setup I want to start with is a standard BCI lab designed for event-related potential or ERP studies. And for this study in particular, we want to focus on visual and auditory response with the added integration of functional near infrared, because this is becoming more and more popular now. To combining different modalities like EEG and FNIRS, this is very common in modern research. And at g.tec, we partner closely with 2 leading FNIR manufacturers, Artinius from Netherlands and NeurX from Germany, to ensure a seamless integration and access to cutting-edge technology for exceptional research experiments. So let's visualize the lab setup. The subject sits in the center room in the armchair wearing the EEG cap, and we will record a 32-channel EEG simultaneously with an 8-channel FNIR. And the experiments represent different visual and auditory stimuli, require powerful software for real-time processing and offline analysis. We also want the whole system to be mobile with the flexibility to add other biosignals like ECG, EMG, GSR for future projects. So to make this happen, I will summarize the key requirements in bullet point, and then we can jump into the g.tec Configurator to select the right equipment. So have all this back in mind, we can have an idea of the equipment we need. We need a wireless 32-channel system, and we need the ECG, EMG, GSR sensors for high signal quality acquisition. And we also want a simulation box for visual stimulation, same with audio box. And on the software part, we want synchronized EEG data recording, and that requires recorder, g.tec Pro, and for the offline part, we need BSNIs. So we also keep the option to add eye tracking synchronization, which will be included in the g.tec Pro. So as I mentioned, we're going to do a live demo. I will now jump into our web shop, and I'll show you how everything can be done. I also will put on the right top corner all the equipment we need, and I can show you how quickly we can get all this done in a few clicks. So there were several different cubes. I will move to g.tec Pro Flexible, this section here. So I click Start Configurator. It will bring you to this interface. And then since we already know clearly what equipment we need, and it's very easy just to follow this like 32-channel system. So here we choose, let's say your institution in the US. So I choose this example and see if I can resize this bit. Okay, so you can see on the right side. So this is easier. And then we choose a device, and then since you want to do EEG combined with FNIRS, in this case, we can only choose the active wet electrodes, and we could choose our single EEG cap for EEG only, and we could also choose our FNIR cap, that is an integrated FNIR cap, allow you to do both EEG and FNIRS. So in this case, we also need to choose ring holders and some gel and cleaning tool. And say in this example, we want to use Artinius FNIR system. And after choosing the main amplifier, we move to the assembling. So in this case, we are doing a 32-channel system with FNIRs. So this is assembling we can pick. And then the next section is we want to consider the different sensors. So say we want to consider the GSR, the galvanic skin response, and then the FNIR part, and the respiration as well. So these are the sensor part. And then moving on to triggers, we want to have the trigger box to receive some analog signals like from push button or from optical sensors. We can also add a stimulation box that is used for SSVP studies. And then the audio box can also be chosen for auditory still response. And then move on to the next section. This is more for the stimulation part that we don't need at this moment, so I will skip this part. And when we come to the software, we choose the g.tec 3. That's the software platform for all the software. And then the BSNIs is for offline analysis, and g.tec Pro is for real-time processing. That is the software you need to integrate EEG with FNIRs. And g.recorder is a standalone recording software for you to record EEG data. And then first, in the end, when we go to the service, we can add installation. The device on board is a remote session we provide. And if you need medical inspection, that's something you can also add. So once we have everything selected, we can move to the finish configure and add your basket. So you can see this whole process literally take a few minutes and a few clicks, and you already have a very clear idea of everything you need. And you can see in each package all the items listed and the price accordingly. You could also adjust the quantity, and then the final price will be updated accordingly. And you get a summary of the total price, the discount you have, the shipping cost, the tax if your country, if you have to pay extra tax. So all the details is listed within a few minutes and with a few clicks. So, and let's go back to the second example. For the second example, I want to explore something truly remarkable, a hyperscanning lab studying neuroscience of a musical ensemble performance. So let's picture this. Say there is five musicians in an ensemble, and one conductor, one pianist, two violinists, and the cellist. They are performing a Mozart piece, and while we want to simultaneously record their brain activity for us to investigate the synchronization between them. So this is something very challenging to do with the standard device, or if we don't know how to do the synchronization. But at the g.tec, we can all make this very simple with our wireless system. So we can capture this subtle neural movement happening between performance with the perfect synchronization between all EEG systems and the music performance, and with a real-time processing to compute the phase synchrony as they play. And with a wireless system, they also have the freedom to move around while they're performing. As you may know, many musicians, they will have this movement, natural movement while they're performing. This is very common in a music performance. And in the end, we need a comprehensive offline analysis to make everything happen. So again, we list all the equipment we need. In this case, since we're considering 5 subjects, that we need 5 16-channel wireless system, and we also need precision on the synchronization while the music is recording, and also the computing for calculating the phase synchrony during the performance, and in the end, some advanced offline tool to further analyze the data. So again, to make this happen, we quickly go back to our g.tec configurator. And then, so in this case, we will choose genotyping research, for example, and we need 5 devices. So here again, let's assuming we are still choosing the active wet electrodes, and then again we use a US, and in this case we would need 5 different caps. So when the high quantity is chosen, the discount is also applied accordingly. So the some other consumables we will also add accordingly, and then the sampling is also needed for 5 subjects. So, and the one thing I like to highlight is whenever you choose something in the configurator, you can see on the right side, it's also highlighted. So it's and also there is also this examination mark to give you more description of the item you choose. So it makes everything transparent and also clear explanation on every item you chose. So in this case, that's all the hardware we need. And we would need actually a trigger box for stimulation then simultaneously. So I add a trigger box here. And for the software part, we again need the basic suite. We need the HiSys Pro, the GPS lines for offline analysis. And again, in the service, we will add the installation and the remote sessions. So again, you can see in a few minutes, I was able to quickly get a rough idea of for the essential equipment I need. So let's go. Yeah, this is the second one I just did. So you can see we have a 5 set of wireless EEG systems, and we also have a trigger box to stimulate all devices simultaneously, and we have the um, online and offline tool for real-time processing and offline analysis. The next application I want to look at is our advanced neurophysiology application while studying physical performance under unique environmental conditions. So imagine we are recording ultra high resolution EMG signal while subject operates in a hyperbaric chamber. This is simulating deep sea conditions or navigate our driving simulator on the stress or performing complex motor tasks in other controlled environment. So this kind of projects is very often like collaborated with a military or with some car manufacturer that they want to test the subject performance in such an environment. And so for this kind of research, it requires exceptional precise equipment that can capture this subtle neuromuscular activity with perfect fidelity. And also the system must withstand challenging experimental conditions and also needs to synchronize perfectly with environmental simulations. So in this, in such a lab setup, we would need a system that can offer ultra high density EMG. And in g.tec, we offer our high amp together with G-packing system, which is a specialized grid for ultra high density mapping. And the other sensors like GSR, temperature, and movement sensors are also required to ensure signal accuracy. And in the end, the advanced signal processing tool HiSys is needed for seamless system integration. So if we quickly go back to the tool, to our configurator. So in this case, we will choose a wired high density EEG system. In this case, will be high amp. So we will choose, say, a 144 channel high amp. And then you can see when I choose the select the number of channels, it will also change accordingly. Here, you can choose different power rate. And in this case, since we're considering or using a pangolin system, we need to choose a special 256 channel electrode box for pangolin. And then we can then move on to the electrode section for the pangolin electrodes. So here we have G.tec. So as you can see, whenever I hover on each of the item, the right side is highlighted. So you know exactly the schematic of the item you chose. So even if the description is confusing for you, you can clearly see what you are getting. So here, say we are getting like 20 pieces of each. So we will need the test stage, and we need the pancreatic electrodes, and we also need the grids and some gel and adhesive. So these are the consumables you always need, and the paste or gel you could always add more in the future. So in this case, we don't need passive electrodes. We don't really need assembling. And for the sensors, we do need some temperature sensors, respiration, um, oxygen saturation, GSR sensors. So these are the very common biosignal people normally want to record while they record high density EMG. And then the trigger part, we don't really need. Simulation also no need. And then for the software, we need, again, about the same software that we chose previously. That is for advanced processing and real-time analysis. Again, installation and the remote session are added. So here we can also add extra device inspection, because if you're getting an FDA or CE certified device, it's recommended you send back for us for the device inspection. And again, we could add everything in the basket. So yes, you could see clearly everything you chose. And I mean, since I know there were so many people from different countries, and the price you see here is in Europe, but in your countries, you may have a distributor or a different currency. So there is always a request quote button that you can click that can send to us, and then the corresponding distributors or sales agent will get to you accordingly. So as you can see, normally for this kind of high density EMG signal, EMG lab setup, it's very time consuming if you're trying to figure out everything on your own. But with the configurator, everything becomes just so much easier and so much faster. You can really quickly get our idea that you can use for grant proposal or discuss with your collaborators, because you can simply choose everything you need and get the price immediately. And the last example I want to show is a state-of-art neuromodulation lab, because this kind of lab is really pushing the boundary in functional mapping and CCF research today. So what makes like these studies so exciting and challenging is a need for perfect harmony between like three critical requirements. The first is the ability to instantly switch channels from recording to simulation, and vice versa. This flexibility is crucial for mapping cortex or studying neurodynamics. The second is maintaining non-interrupted clinical monitoring. Patient safety cannot be compromised where conducting research. And the third, something many researchers struggle with, is a practical challenge of working with, say, g.tec rays or stereo EEG electrodes. Like the traditional process of connecting this touch proof one by one simply is not efficient for high channel count research. So this is why we developed the cortical system. This solved all these three challenges while delivering research-grade data quality. So we are able to provide instant channel mode switching with perfect synchronization, and we allow the parallel operation with the clinical monitoring system, and also the quick connect solution that eliminates the tedious connector one by one setup. So this is how the equipment we will need. We will need our neuromodulation 256 channels together with switching units that enable you to do recording, to do the mapping, to do the simulation. And also we want to have the FDA approved or CE certified cortical stimulator for precise stimulation. And the software is, of course, necessary for real-time processing and advanced analysis. So this last setup is actually very easy to do in our configurator because we do have everything already bundled for you. So if I just quickly go back to the our configurator, you can choose Cortical Pro 2.0. And as you can see already from this layout schematic, you can choose everything you need. Say, I'm looking for a 256 channel system. And here is, because depending on the countries, you would choose your configurator accordingly. And since, as I mentioned, we also want to have the quick solution to connect with g.tec grids or stereo electrodes. So here I choose these quick connectors. As you can see on the right side, the schematic, these quick connectors eliminate these one-by-one touch-proof connectors. And then you may add some jumper cables just to shortcut the ground with some channels or the reference with some channels. So this is just some small thing you could add. And again, the service you could add is the inspection, installation, and remote sections. So everything is already packed by us. So it's very simple for you to configure and to get idea of how our neuromodulation system will cost with a function including recording, stimulation, and switching. So whether you're doing a mapping, like language mapping, or if you're studying epilepsy or developing new therapeutic approaches, this system provides the flexibility, safety, and efficiency that modern neuromodulation research demands. So now I will move on to, since we already explored this cutting edge research system, let's now turn to education, where neuroscience begins for many. So I would like to introduce the Unicorn Education Lab Kit. This is a kit that refines learning by putting real EEG technology directly into students' hands. This compact classroom-ready solution preserves the core principle of our professional system while while prioritizing accessibility and engagement. So I will show you how this inspires future researchers while meeting today's teaching needs. So just to give you a rough idea what education kit is, it comes with two ready-to-deploy package. One is a full kit that comes with 8 Unicorn Black device, and the mini kit that comes with 4 device. So each of these education kits, they have matching software license. So 4 for the mini kit and 8 for the full kit. So it can really equip a true group work, and there is no shared computer bottleneck, and every team can work very independently. And it also provides identical core function to professional system. And you also have the flexibility to scale this up for labs of any size. So this means the students can get authentic EEG experience while the educator can maintain the full class flexibility. And when we talk about educational kit, you may ask, why I need it? Because we call it education kit because it has so many educational benefits. These kits transform neuroscience learning through 3 key advantages. First is the hands-on discovery. The students can interact directly with live brain signal. It bridges theoretical concepts to a tangible experiment, and also it deploys practical skills with research-grade technology. And the second point is it provides collaborative learning. So small group work with a dedicated device or license, and this enables comparative analysis between teams. And then it also fosters peer-to-peer knowledge sharing. And the third main benefit is it also offers future-ready skills. So with this educational kit, it builds foundation for advanced neural technologies studies, and it also prepares the students for careers in BCI and neuroengineering, and it cultivates data literacy through real EEG analysis. So these education kits can normally create a complete BCI learning cycle. You can very easily use this education kit to develop a semester-long journey. Say in the week 1 to 4, that's the foundation stage. The 40 students can split into 8 teams with five students each, and the students master the basic via interoperative um, sorry, interactive tutorials, the GitHub resources, the hands-on sessions, such as the signal acquisition, the P3 and Speller. And then the middle stage, normally from week 5 to 12, is a project development. And each team select a focus area, say multi-metric collaborations or cognitive state monitoring or some novel BCI paradigm. And these development can be guided by the faculty mentors. And then the third stage is the final stage, which can last from week 13 to week 16. And this is for the students to present the live project demonstrations. And then the faculty can evaluate on the technical execution, innovation, and the clinical or real-world relevance. So throughout this whole semester learning, the skills learned by students include the BCI EEG fundamentals, the signal processing tools, skills, the full stack project development, and the scientific presentation skills. And with such even with a mini kit, our single semester transform beginners into a BCI-ready innovators. So today, the educational kit is empower the next generation of neuroscientists worldwide. And our solutions has earned trust from hundreds of leading institutions and include also Fortune 500 tech companies that use for research and training programs. And also there were so many private researchers and makers that accelerating their BCI prototyping. Generally, from undergraduate labs to cooperative research and development centers, we're seeing students who are trained with this kit to be able to develop medical neurotechnology at top firms or launch their own neuro startup or pioneer brain-inspired AI research. So after acquiring the BCI education kit, it also grants you exclusive access to host official brain-computer interface hackathons. For example, the next one is tomorrow. So this kind of hackathon is a key integrated events that all participants can use standardized unicorn device, and then they also get support to build BCI prototypes, and also many teams are often recruited by partner companies. So it's a great opportunity for the students to get into the field, to know more about BCI, and to build a bridge for their future career. So this is a picture of how the hackathon looks like in general. And each year, we power hackathon across 5 continents using Unicorn Education Kit. And what really makes the event unique is the competition it provides. It's a bit identical to classroom systems, and also it offers real-world challenges. So it's co-designed with industry partners, and it also give instant research potentials. So many projects that develop in hackathon turned into a formal studies later on. And as Tiago actually mentioned previously, the next hackathon starts from tomorrow. We are very thrilled to launch this year's challenging that would mainly be focusing on the gaming and during entertainment. And programming and BCI development is another big section. And data science and AI is also getting really hot. And we are including more AI research related projects in our hackathon. So the winner in each category comes with a 400 to 1,000 US dollar prize, and it also builds a mentorship with neurotech leaders. So this is your event. There's still time for you to check out, and the official hackathon will start from tomorrow. And there's more information on this website. You can go to this link. So that's actually all for my presentation. Christoph?
Thank you very much, Fan, for the overview. Somebody's asked if our lab has several researchers interested in EEG experiments. Can a single license be shared across all users on a single laptop, or would we have to buy separate licenses for each of us via a lab of 3 people?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, each of these unique education kit, it comes with individual license. Say if you have the mini kit, it has 4 independent licenses. So you work independently on 4 different workstations. And the same thing for the 4 kit, it comes with 8 independent licenses.
Okay, thank you very much, Fan, for the nice explanation of the configurator. And see you pretty soon.